We are going to be talking about one of the most controversial topics within Jujutsu Kaisen, that being Yuta versus Hakari. We will be comparing their feats and looking at their overall abilities to see who would be the most likely winner. Since I already did a video on Yuta, we will be starting off with Hakari, looking at his AP. Now, Hakari's kind of tricky as he only had 2 fights within the manga, and one is ongoing right now with Urame. But Hakari should be relative or likely superior to Yuji Itadori, who even though Yuji and Hakari both admit that he was not resisting and was deliberately tanking his blows, Yuji would state that no matter how little or how much curse energy Hakari put into those punches, they all hurted him. And with my last video scaling Yuta, we know Yuta should also scale relative to Itadori, if not also stronger than Itadori when using Rika, as Yuji can't even break out of Rika's grasp. More proof of Hakari and Yuta's relativity would come from a statement from Gojo basically saying that if he got weaker than Hakari or Yuta, that one of them would have to step in, meaning at the very least they should be in a similar weight class. The only contradiction to this idea is a statement from Yuta himself stating that Hakari is stronger than him. This would be not only contradicted by Maki, but in the calling games, Yuta would fight Ryu, who had the highest curse energy output of anyone within the calling games. This would also include Hakari, as he was obviously a player within the calling games. You can argue that Maki shouldn't know who Hakari is, but she does mention Hakari within chapter 10 of JJK, but even then there is still no proof that Maki should know the full potential of a jackpot Hakari due to his suspension. So either you can argue that Hakari and Yuta are relative in terms of AP, or with Rika at the very least, Yuta should be slightly or even superior to Hakari in terms of AP. Moving on into speed, we know that Hakari's best speed feat within the manga as of right now would be reacting to Kashima's lightning, and looking at this calc would leave us with a massively hypersonic feat. While Yuta, who can use Black Flash, would have a sub-rel to relativistic reaction speed feat. Using this scan from Itadori, using Black Flash on Hanami for the first time. Yuta also being able to keep up and even kill Itadori during their clash. While when Hakari was fighting Itadori, Itadori was tanking and deliberately letting Hakari hit him, so you wouldn't really know if they would be on the same level in terms of speed. So for now, we could argue that Yuta has the edge in terms of speed. But even with that, this battle really comes down to their abilities, which starting with Hakari, his curse technique is called Private Pure Love Train, with his technique basically centering around his domain expansion called Idle Death Gamble. Basically, when Hakari activates this domain, it works like a slot machine, and if he hits a jackpot, he gets infinite curse energy for 4 minutes and 11 seconds. Within this time, he can reflexively use reverse curse technique, which basically makes him immortal unless his brain was damaged either by decapitation or, let's say for example, his head got exploded. And one more condition for his domain is that after he pops his domain, he can pop it again, but depending on the number that he got last during his jackpot being either an even or odd number. Let's say for example it's an even number, he gets faster spins, but on an odd number he gets a greater chance of hitting his jackpot again. While Yuta has the ability to copy curse techniques if Rika eats a part of the person, the only limitations we know about this is that 1. Rika has to be manifested for him to use his ability, as Rika is his external storage system and is the one that carries all the curse techniques and curse tools. And that this connection can only last for 5 minutes, which is a bit longer than Hakari's technique, which could also give him another advantage as he can have his ability for a bit longer. With him, for as far as we know, only copying 2 curse techniques, that being curse speech and sky manipulation. Curse speech would probably give Yuta the biggest advantage in this fight, as with curse speech, Yuta can use different words and make different effects happen. Basically, he can stun Hakari using it by saying don't move. He could, say, get crushed, which would crush Hakari internally, as we saw with the grade 2 spirit in JJK0, or even with Yuta when he first used Curse Speech, saying the word die, killing many lower grade Curse spirits. And Sky Manipulation is basically a worse infinity, being able to grab the sky like a surface, and with this he could reflect Hakari's attacks and wait for an opportunity to use Curse Speech so that he can get the upper hand. Even then, Rika is a external storage system that has many curse tools and objects for Yuta to use. We know he has a steel arm, which could also amp his AP even further, meaning that Yuta could again also have a edge in AP. Yuta also has reverse curse technique, using this against a special grade cockroach to basically one-shot it, and is stated to have boundless curse energy, and if not more than someone like Gojo. Overall, looking at their feats and abilities, I would say Yuta would win against Hakari most of the time. Hakari would probably start off by using his domain expansion, and since he is a basically lucky character, let's just say he is going to get the jackpot first try, which then it is also within Yuta's character to send out Rika within this scenario. And either Yuta is going to wait till Hakari's domain is off and then use Curse Speech to basically make it so Hakari can't move and activate his domain, and with his speed advantage end the fight quickly, or Yuta is going to use Curse Speech while Hakari is in his jackpot and basically stun him again like when he's out of his domain, and then this would cause Yuta to basically get the edge and basically be able to cut off his head or even crush his head. We could even argue that Hakari would get the first hit, but even then Yuta has Sky Manipulation, which could reflect attacks, or just use Rika to tank the hit for him. And as we know, Rika is stated to be stronger than Yuta, and since Hakari and Yuta are relative, you would argue that Rika would be just fine, and then this is where Yuta would again get the edge and therefore win. Meaning in the end, overall, Yuta would be the overall victor. If you would like to discuss this topic, I have my Discord server down below. I'll be open to any discussion. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye by the morning, girl, I gotta go. Gotta get ready, tonight is my show. If you okay, you might help in my show. Gotta be partners right under my nose. These niggas mad cause I got all the dough. These niggas mad cause I got all the dough. Changing my style cause I got every flow. Got every girl, ain't no time for my hoes.